Hey guys, this is John from 4 Basic Life, and today we are going to install a sliding glass shower door, and I'd like you to do it with me, so come on. Alright, the first thing you do before you start any project, grab the instructions, open up your package, make sure nothing's damaged or broken, and make sure that everything that we're supposed to have, we have in the kit. Also, it's a good idea to take a look at the different tools that you're going to need. This way here, you can make sure that you can complete the job once you start it. So, all right, it seems like we have everything that we need here. And these are our top and bottom track and side walls. This is all the hardware that we're going to need. This is the slide for the doors, and these are the handles. So far we're in good shape. You notice that the base has a tall lip here. This is going to be on the outside of the shower, and in here is the groove. That is where this slide goes in. This is the notch side that they're talking about. So we're going to slide this in. Okay, now we've got it all the way through from one end to the other. Now, we're going to measure the distance between our two walls, and we're going to cut this bottom track a 1/4 inch less than the what the opening is. So let's take our measurement real quick. By the way, before we got to this point, I made sure that these walls were plumb, straight up and down, and I made sure that the base was level. If you're out too much, it's not going to work. So you got to be pretty close, within a 1/2 inch of within a 1/2 inch, whatever this lower dimension is, that's what you want your upper dimension. If it's more than that, you're going to have to shim things out a little bit. It can still be done. You're just going to have to do a little bit of shimming. Yeah, we are at 45 3/4. They wanted a 1/4 inch less. That's going to take us at 45 1/2, which is right here. Okay, perfect. Now, they say that you can cut it with a hacksaw and a miter box, but I've got a chop saw outside that I use for this, and so I'm going to cut it on my chop saw, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we just cut our bottom track to size, and there were a couple burrs because this is aluminum, when you cut it, there are some burrs. I have a file, and what I did was, I'm gonna save you the sound because it's kind of screechy, but I just rounded off a little bit of the burrs, knocked them down. One thing I wanted to note to you, if your shower has a rounded corner over here, you could take your file and just round this off with your file to form the base of your tub. So now that we've got that, they want us to center this bottom track on this ledge. So what we're doing here, we're going to take a measurement. We look centered right there. 1 inch on this side. We're going to make a mark, a little pencil mark. We're going to come on the opposite side, do the same thing, again 1 inch, and we're going to make a mark. Now what I need to do is temporarily hold this in place. So I'm going to take a little bit of tape, make sure I'm on my mark, and I'm going to hold this to 1 inch. And again, we cut it a 1/4 inch less, so I'm going to leave an 1/8 inch gap here and an 1/8 inch gap on the other side. 1/8 inch gap between the wall and the track. And I'm going to get this on my pencil mark. And hang on a second, I got to get it just right. Even though this is only temporary, I want to make sure it's just right. Number 6 now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to position our wall tracks in place, and for that I need to get a 4-foot level. So I'll be right back. Alright, we have our 4-foot level and we have our wall track. Now what we're going to do is slide our wall track. There's a little groove here, and that groove slides over this lip. So we're going to put this on, and we're going to make sure we're all the way down tight to our base. We are going to grab our 4-foot level and plumb up our wall piece. Right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little pencil mark over here on the back side and just make sure this is a reference point so that we don't lose our line. Now I need to mark on the wall where these 3 holes are, and for that I'll take the back edge of a drill bit. I've got a little bit of paint that I keep with me, which is perfect for marking. I just dip the back of my drill bit into the paint, and I'll go through. I'll mark 1. I'll mark 2. And I want to make sure I didn't move this. And I'm going to mark 3. Now, let's see if we have our 3 marks. All right, guys, we got our holes in place. Now it's time to start drilling. Some of these wall tile, which I'm going to assume this is a floor tile that was put on the wall. Some of this tile is extremely, extremely hard, and my regular drill won't do it. And what I did, I got the hammer drill, my old Milwaukee hammer drill, and let's see how that works. Even with the hammer drill, I'm not able to get through this. I'm not even seeing any powder falling down. I burnt up one bit, and this bit is just about on the edge of getting burnt up. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little modification. And instead of, like we had it, instead of drilling into the tile, I'm going to make new holes in the aluminum where the grout joints are, because the grout joints are always way easier to drill through than what the tile is. And what I will do later when I'm done is I'll just fill these holes with a dab of silicone. And so we're going to cover the holes to make them watertight, and we're going to be able to drill through the mortar joint and get our screws into the grout joints. All right, I switched out my masonry bit and got a steel bit, and I drilled my first hole through the aluminum track, and with my hammer drill I was able to drill through the grout joint. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the screws and temporarily I'm just going to screw this in place while I get the other 2 holes ready. And I like using a screwdriver for this, just because you don't want to turn it too much. If I had an impact gun, I could very easily strip that screw out. Anyway, so now I'm being held in place. I'm double checking my line. My line is good. Okay, now I'm going with the next hole. So first, what I do, I'm going to drill it with my speed bit, my twist steel bit, right into the mortar joint, right through the metal. Just like that. Now with my hammer drill, okay, now we have this side done. Now we got to do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, now that we have our two sides on and we've got our holes drilled, we have to remove the two side tracks. We're going to take the bottom track out, lay a bead of silicone on it, and then reinstall everything. We're going to lay a bead of silicone on the bottom of this track. This is the side where the lip is. This is facing not the inside of the shower. This is the part that goes on the outside of the shower. This way here, if any water does get in here, it can run into the shower and not out in the room. And another important thing, we're going to use some clear silicone, a bed and bath silicone, or a bathroom silicone, a mold resistant silicone. And I want to make sure that I wipe this down, the surface of the shower where I'm going to silicone to. I want to make sure that that's clean and there's no oil or soap scum or anything like that there that is going to prevent the silicone from sticking. So I'm going to go and wipe it down really good and get the silicone. All right, guys, we have our silicone, we have our caulk gun, our bottom track, the top edge of the shower is all cleaned off and ready to go. And I wanted to show you how to make a fine bead with your caulk. I like to cut off about 1/2 inch, and then what I do is I come back and I just take a little bit of this off. This way here, I don't have a point at the end of that. That's actually just about perfect right there. And that's going to give us a fine bead of caulk. So now, once again, we're just going to put the sealant on the outside edge of this bottom track. You don't want to put too much on there, but you want to make sure you get enough to give a nice fine seal. Okay, we're going to turn this. Let me set this down for a second. Okay, good. Now, it's important that when you put this on, we reference our pencil marks and squish it down evenly and straight, because if not, we're going to mush this glue, the caulk everywhere. So there's our pencil line. I got my left-hand side done. I got my right-hand side done. Now I just want to squish it down a little bit. If there's any caulk that came out, what I do is I wet my finger and just kind of tool it in there. Now we're going to put some tape on this to hold it in place. Now this is the last time, hopefully, that we're going to have to move this bottom track. What I want to do is I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take my head down low and see if I see any daylight coming through here. I don't want to see any daylight at all. If I see daylight, that's where water can get through. So I just want to make sure that I've got a good seal and everything looks good. Okay, now, next step. Okay guys, we have our bottom track in place and taped up. Now we're ready to put on the two side rails. And what we have to do is, they give us these rubber bumpers. They're flexible and they have a recess where the screw head goes. This way here, when the shower door opens and closes, it doesn't hit against the metal, it hits against the rubber. So let's go and install the two side rails now. Alright guys, now that we have our side track secure, now it's time to measure for the upper track and cut that. That only needs to be a 32nd of an inch, so almost tight in between your rough opening. So I've already cut it, and end, it's ready to just slide in. It just slides over this side. Okay, all right guys, we're almost done. While the silicone is drying on our bottom track, we're going to start putting the hardware on the door. So first they give us this gasket, which goes into, there's 4 holes, 2 on each door. This gets slid into here and locks into that hole. Next we put this is where we're going to attach our wheels to. They give us a 1/4 inch screw and a 1/4 inch barrel nut, which it's kind of hard if you have big fingers, but that's okay. We slide that barrel nut in the back, and then we take that screw and we put that screw in there and we tighten it up. Okay. Now I'm going to need a second screwdriver because I have to secure it from both sides, but in the meantime I'm going to go and put all of them up. I'm just going to snug these up. This is the last one that I have to do. I've got 2 screwdrivers here. Okay. Now they're pretty snug. Now it's time to put the wheels on. And let me show you what the wheels look like. We've got these little wheels. These are 32nd inch screw. And you see this little knurled end here? That's going to go on here. Right like that. Let me get the other one. Okay, I don't want to really snug these up tight right now because I may have to, they give us 3 holes on this bracket in case we need to adjust the door. So I'm just going to snug it up just a little bit just to take the slop out of it. Okay, that's good. Okay, now we're ready to put the doors on. All right, guys, I got the last wheel on, and we're ready to put the doors on. You want to be careful with these. You don't want to bounce them around too much because they can shatter, and so you just want to be careful. I always put my bottom inside first to go over this lip, and the wheels ride on the inside. There's a track over here. It's a lot easier with 2 people, but if you're by yourself, it is what it is. All right, now I've got this door on. This is my outside door. What I want to do, well, let me get the inside door on also first. Okay, now we got our doors on. They seem to be sliding really well. I just want to check the reveal, and if my reveal, what the reveal is the gap between here and here. So I want to make sure that I'm about the same. That's pretty good. All right, guys, we have to put the bottom track or the bottom bracket that holds the doors in place. It's a little plastic bracket, and the 2 doors slide back and forth on this. They give us 2 self-tappers. So we're just going to I'm going to take my impact gun and put these 2 screws in, and that will be done. Hang on one second. I just want to check that when this other door is on there, it covers it. Yep, that's perfect. Okay. That's one. That's two. Okay guys, these are our door handles. Basically, they just unscrew. We got this plastic washer here, which is the glass is gonna sandwich in between these two. We're gonna put if you notice, one side is fat and one side is thin. We're gonna put the fat side on the outside. So my thin side already has my washer. That's going on there. I'm going to take this other washer, put that on there. That's one. And on this one, I'm going to place the fat side on the inside of the shower. Alright guys, that's our sliding glass shower door video. I hope you liked it. If you did, like and subscribe, and see you later.